This video is about solving geometric problems with angles and triangles, which is part of topic 11, geometry of two-dimensional shapes. One of the aspects that we need to focus on is when we have a triangle. We know that we have interior angles or angles inside the triangle, and those three angles need to add up to 180 degrees. But now we also have the situation where we could have an angle that is exterior to the triangle. In other words, it's not inside but outside of the triangle. Exterior means outside, interior means inside. So if you have an exterior angle, then ignore the angle closest to that exterior angle when it comes to the interior angles of the triangle, and look at the other two angles, the ones that are inside the triangle but the furthest from the exterior or outside angle. And if you add those two angles, namely x and y, you will find the size of the exterior angle. Now let's use this to tackle number 4 of exercise 11.2, page 116, where we still have to determine the unknown values and then classify the triangle. So in this particular case, we have an exterior angle and another exterior angle. But now I can see the one that I need to deal with is this exterior angle, because I don't know the size of the angle closest, the interior angle closest to the exterior angle, but I do know the ones the furthest away, the other two. And I do know that if I add these other two angles, that's the furthest away from the exterior angle, it must equal the exterior angle. So therefore I can make the statement that 2x minus 80 degrees plus x minus 20 degrees is equal to the exterior angle of 2x minus 30 degrees. The reason is exterior angles of a triangle. And EXT as abbreviation for exterior is perfectly acceptable, and the angle sine. So now that I have my statement and I have my reason, I can solve this equation. I know I want the x's together. So let's simplify. On the left we have 2 x's, we get another x, so we have 3 x's on the left. Let's look at the numbers. We owe 80, we owe another 20, we therefore owe 100 degrees. On the right hand side we still have 2x minus 30 degrees. Now I want my x's together, so I'm going to swim this 2x on the right hand side of the river across the river to the left hand side, so then the sign will change. The positive will become a negative. On the right hand side I already have negative 30 degrees. It didn't swim, it was already on the correct side. I still need to move this negative 100 through the river, then it will become positive 100 degrees. So now 3x minus 2x is simply x. We have 100 degrees, we give away 30, we therefore have 70 degrees. So we know x is 70. Now we have to replace everywhere we see x with 70 degrees. So now this angle K is 2 times not x but 70 degrees. And then we still have to subtract the 80 degrees. So 2 times 70 is 140 degrees minus 80 degrees. So 140 minus 80 is in fact 60 degrees. Let's look at angle N. So we have now in the place of x 70 degrees. So we have 70 minus 20 degrees, which gives us 50 degrees. And now we can find the angle L, which is now equal to 180 degrees minus the two other interior angles of 60 degrees and 50 degrees. The reason is angle sum of triangle, which we know is 180 degrees. So we have 180 degrees minus 110 degrees, which give us 70 degrees. So this angle is 70 degrees. So now we can classify the triangle. We see that all the angles, all the interior angles are different sizes, therefore it has to be a scalene triangle. We also see all the angles are smaller than 90 degrees, so therefore KLN is an acute angled scalene triangle. Reasons being all angles smaller than 90 degrees and all angles unequal. We need to determine the unknown value of x for number 8 as well as classify this triangle. So first thing that I notice is that the blue lines are equal in length. So therefore I know the opposite angles to these sides must also be equal in length. So opposite this blue line, I have the angle x, the unknown that I have to calculate. So opposite this blue line, that angle also therefore have to be x. And now I have two angles and I have the third angle of the small triangle MWV, so I will be able to calculate the size of these angles, the unknown angles. So my first step would be to say that angle M1 is equal to x, the reason being that MW is equal in length to VWV. Now I can make the statement that in the small triangle, we know the inside angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So angle X plus 90 degrees plus angle X here is equal to 180 degrees. The reason being angle sum of triangle, and since there are more than one triangle, I will classify this one as MWV. So now I can simplify on the left. I can add the x plus the other x to get 2 x's. I can move the 90 degrees over the river. It joins the 180 degrees. That's already on the correct side. But since the plus 90 is on the wrong side, I have to swim it through the river. The sign change, it becomes negative 90 degrees. So now 2x is equal to 90 degrees. I do not want 2 x's, I only want 1. I therefore have to get rid of the 2. The opposite of multiply is divide. Whatever I do to the left, I do to the right. So now the 2's cancel and x is 45 degrees. So we know these two angles are 45 degrees each. So that is determined. We still have to find y. We know these two sides are 3 centimeters. Okay, what I also know is in the big triangle that I have a 90-degree angle. We already calculated this as 45. Therefore, we can calculate the angle N because we know the angle sum of the triangle is 180 degrees. So we can say, therefore, that 90 degrees plus angle N plus the 45 degrees equals 180 degrees. The reason being angle sum of triangle MNV. So we can simplify on the left. So we have N angle N plus 90 plus 45 is 155 degrees equals 180 degrees on the right hand side. We can swim across the equal river. We have to change the sign when we do it. So the positive 135 becomes negative 135, and angle N is now equal to 45 degrees. But now we know that this angle is 90, we have 45. We even know that x is 45, so we can also say that angle M2 plus angle M1 we know is together 90 degrees. That was given. So we know M1 is 45, so M2 plus in the place of M1 we can use 45 degrees is 90 degrees. So angle M2 is equal to the 90 degrees. The plus swims through the river, it becomes negative 45 degrees. So in fact angle M2 is equal to 45 degrees. So therefore we have a 45, 45 and a 90 degrees. So it is actually exactly the mirror image of the right hand triangle, which also have a 45, 45 and 90 degrees. So since it's a reflection, it will mean that this side will also equal the other two blue sides. So we can say therefore that y is in fact also 3 centimeter. The reason being that triangle MNW is the mirror image of triangle MWV. So let's classify these triangles. We can see in fact all of them are exactly the same. The big one has a 90 degree and two 45 degrees. The small one on the left has a 90 degree and two 45 degrees. The small one on the right has a 90 degree and two 45 degrees. So we can in fact say that triangle MNV and triangle MNW and triangle MWV are right angled and since we have in each two sides that are equal in length, we can say are right angled isosceles triangles. So the reason is one 90 degree angle and two sides equal.